In this video, I'm going to be making a pair of kitchen knives. I'll be making an 8-inch chef knife and a 6-inch utility knife. I just wanted to catch you guys up real quick with where we're at. It might not look like it, but we've almost got these knives completely forged out. That last step I did, I was thinning out the steel with fullerene dies, and that's gonna put most of the stretch into height in the blade. And next thing I've got to do is I've got to hammer out all those divots and smooth out the material, and then I'll just refine the profile on the anvil and the grinder, and then we'll be ready for heat treat. All right, you might be looking at this thinking, God, those are much bigger knives than what you said, an 8-inch and a 6-inch, and you're right. I forged these way too long. I think I actually wasn't paying attention and I added an inch in the stock because I was trying to talk while I was measuring out the stock. So anyway, I ended up with too much material, but I'll anneal these overnight and then I'll clean up the profile of everything tomorrow and we'll take it from there. All right, let's see where we left off yesterday. Man, this thing is big. We're gonna have to trim that down today. All right, we got these profiles all cleaned up. These are looking a lot more like how they should for an 8-inch and a 6-inch chef knife. So I do need to thin these out more. So it's kind of a bummer that I already annealed them because I'm gonna have to do that again. But I'll get these in the forge, we'll get them thinned out and hot stamped, and then anneal them again, and then we'll drill the handle holes. Little tip if you're hot stamping your work, this is my crossbeam hammer. It's got a rounded face that I use for forging. And when I hot stamp, I don't want to use this hammer because it's going to mar up the face, and then those will eventually translate to little dimples in your work when you're forging later. So I've got this cheap Harbor Freight or maybe Home Depot 4-pound crossbeam. I don't use the crossbeam because it's way too sharp, but I use this face for hot stamping because it's got some weight to it. I don't need to really hit it too hard, and it doesn't really matter if it gets marred up. All right, so I'm just gonna do kind of a hasty anneal. I'm gonna bring these up to 1400 degrees, let them soak for 10 minutes, and then let them air cool. And hopefully that gets the steel soft enough for me to drill all the handle holes, and then we'll get the heat treat going. All right, we got all of our handle holes drilled out. I get asked often what the reasoning for all of these handle holes are, and these smaller ones are for the handle pins to pass through, but these larger holes in the center they kind of serve two purposes. One is it removes weight in the handle and it helps with the balance. And number two, it actually allows for a channel for the epoxy to bond through from scale all the way to scale. So then you have your scales bonding to the steel itself, and also all the way through these channels to the other scale on the other side. And then the last bit is I chamfer all of these because anytime you have a hard 90-degree edge on the steel, it's going to create a stress riser when you heat treat your knife and when you quench it. So I remove all of those. All of these edges around the entire profile of the knife, all of these holes are chamfered, and that's strictly for that purpose. For during the quench, you don't want to add any stress risers that could potentially create a crack in your steel. All right, we're going to normalize like usual at 1650, 1500, and 1400 degrees Fahrenheit. And then we'll quench in Parks AAA, heated to around 120 degrees. So this set is a wedding present for a couple, and so as a way to personalize it, I've got a stencil of their two initials inside of a heart that I'm going to electrochemically etch here on the bevels of each knife. So that'll kind of tie these two sets, or these two knives together, so you can tell that they are meant to go together. As I was sanding these bevels, I thought this would be kind of cool to try to capture on camera. You can see this faint gray line that sort of follows the Brut de Forge finish. It's kind of cool. That's actually the decarb layer. So it's the transition from the lower carbon content outer jacket from forging into the hardened high carbon content steel of the bevels. It's kind of like a Hamon. Anyway, thought you might think that's kind of cool.